Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the Tier 6 Commonwealth Cruiser, the Perth, because it's available in the Battle of the Java Sea bundle. You can get, I believe, a 10% discount or 15% discount. Let's take a look. The 15% discount, but that's only available in the premium shop, unfortunately, not in the armory, unfortunately. So keep that in mind. So I don't recommend you buy this bundle. I think it's very expensive. But I'm still covering the ship just so at least... we were still meant to cover Perth at some point, so I'm covering it today. Because it kind of makes sense to cover it anyway. Funnily enough, as a story... Well, I'll tell you in game. But for the commander build, actually let's start off with the armor layout because it's a cruiser. We've got 16mm nose armor, 16 side, 100mm. I believe that is the Citadel. At least the bottom one is the Citadel. The above one, you just get full penned. You gotta be careful. We've got a 32 deck, 25 deck, and also 16 deck. We also have the rear section, which is 16mm armor. So not really much armor at all. For our commander build, we're running Last Stand, Eye in the Sky, Superintendent, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush, and IFHE to pen same tier battleships, plus grease the gears. For equipment, I've got Steering Gears Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Engine Room Protection in this case, and Main Armaments Mod 1. But realistically, we want to be running Spotter Plane Mod, Hydro Search Mod, and probably even Smoke Mod. But I think 112 seconds should be sufficient, at least enough for the Perth. Something to mention about the Perth is Hobart seems to be overall a better ship, I think. It gets more stock gun range by quite a lot. It gets 152 second cooldown. What's the cooldown on this one? No, they're the same cooldown. But you do get sub-surveillance, which is kind of really useful on one of these ships anyway. And the gun reload 7.5 versus 7.5. So I guess it's kind of similar. I think Hobart's actually a pretty decent ship, but anyway. The Perth Camouflage section. This is kind of awesome. I think this is probably one of the main things that highlights the Perth over anything else of the tier. Not really. But it's the camouflage. I like the camouflage. It actually has an Easter egg. I'm not sure where it is on the ship. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it really fast. I don't want to make the video too... There it is! If we take a look back here, we actually go on our anti-aircraft suite here. Maybe our 12.7. No, it's our 12.7. Yeah, if we click through. There's a little koala bear on the back of the Perth. That's because Perth is Australian. It's an Australian city, of course. And the ship is Her Majesty's Royal Australian Navy, I believe. So there's a little koala bear there. For the camouflage, we've got a zebra stripe. I think this camo looks really cool. As you can see, the funnels are angled. It makes it, I guess it makes it seem harder to hit the ship. I guess that's the point, right? It's like dazzle camo. This is the alternate camouflage, which also looks pretty decent, I guess. But I prefer the black and white camo we have normally. We have 31,300 HP. We've got 8 152mm guns. 5.5% fire chance with this build. A 7.5 second reload, 12.8 kilometer gun range, very limited gun range. 4 torpedo tubes, we've got 4 torpedoes per side, 8 km torp, single launch available, 15 km damage. A maximum speed, 34.1 knots, so not that fast, but it's tier 6. And concealment, this is where the strong point is of the ship, 8.8 detection, very good detection for a cruiser, especially also at tier 6. Let's go into the game in the Perth. Here we are in the game in the Perth, tier 6, of course, Commonwealth Light Cruiser. By the way, this is my first time, I guess, using this microphone, so let me know what you think, if it sounds okay or not. It's pretty much the same exact microphone as I had before, so it should sound the same. But the other one was causing a bit of problems because of the connection. This one should have a better connection, so it doesn't reset the settings. But I still had to set it up for the first time, so I hope I sound okay. Let me know in the comments about that. But anyway, here we are in the Perth on fault line. You know... Oh, we've smoked up here. We got Hydro, spotter plane running. Something to mention about the Perth is it's got a very long duration spotter plane, which is very important because the actual range of the Perth is awful stock. So you do get 15.4 kilometer range with the spotter plane online. But as you can see also, these arcs aren't too easy to use, and it's kind of hard to hit ships at longer ranges here. We also have the Hydro. Standard, I think, 4 km cruiser Hydro. We have 4.5 km smoke detection, and we have a crawling smoke screen. So that's pretty good. Now, as you know, I am running IFHE here, so we do pen same tier battleships. In this case, it's in New York. I think maybe we do pen him regardless of IFHE or not. From trying it out, I think actually playing Perth without IFHE would probably be the best, actually, because it just doesn't have enough DPM against tier 8s to just unload on the just superstructure alone, and your fire chance is reduced by half. Against tier 8s, you're gonna have a really hard time. Specifically because IFHE does not pen 32 millimeters of armor, it's gonna pen 31. You are gonna be able to pen same tier battleships, you're gonna be able to pen tier 7 battleships everywhere too. So against something like Nagato or Colorado, and Duke of York and King George, you're gonna have a really good time. But against those higher tier battleships, you're gonna have a pretty hard time indeed. So the Perth, I mean, there's nothing much to talk about when it comes to the Perth. It's pretty decent. I know, I actually have a little story about the Perth though. Originally when it came out, I actually chose to buy the Perth instead of the Belfast because I was a really smart player, guys, trust. Actually, this was very early on when I started playing World of Warships. I made the decision that I want to get a tier 6 instead of a tier 7 premium, and the two available were Belfast and Perth, the ones that I was thinking of buying because I believe they came out at the same time. And I chose Perth. Could you imagine not choosing Belfast? Imagine. And I didn't buy the Belfast because I had no money. Very low amount of money, so I chose the Perth because it's cheaper and it's a lower tier, so it should be easier to play, right? Well, anyway, that's a little story for you guys. But anyway, the Perth. Not much to say. HE mostly focused cruiser. You do have that AP you can use on broadsides, but for the most part, I use the HE. You want to try to set fires. You want to get pen damage on angle targets, etc. But yeah, there it is. Look at us outputting some damage. Do you guys own a Perth? Maybe. Probably a lot of you own a Perth. You probably got it in containers or something. I would think it's one of those common drops, right? Maybe, potentially. But anyway, this is just the ship in the bundle. That's why we're featuring it today. This is actually not a live commentary game. I'm sorry. You know, I actually played 2 games in Perth before this. But one of them was a tier 8 game. I'm going to be frank and honest. I'll give you the scores. The tier 8 game was 16k damage. And the other game, I got dev struck after getting 50k damage. So yes, you can get dev struck pretty easily in the Perth, especially if you show full broadside to a New Mexico or Arizona or whatever it was. So you have to be really careful when you play the Perth because it's very much a light cruiser. But yeah, I wasn't gonna feature those games because, well, I mean, there's almost no damage, man. Like, what can I do? You guys aren't gonna watch that. So I decided just to keep playing off stream, and this was my third. Well, actually, this is on stream. This was a stream game. And I was like, well, this is a good game, good enough. I'll just feature this. This was my third game, so out of all of them. So I only played 3 games in it to record a video, which is a lot. Normally, I only play 1. There you go. But anyway, we're farming this Devonshire here, Devonshire. I know we had a clanmate back in the day, in 07, Dolphin Princess. I'm not sure if you know him. He used to call it the Devonshire. That's what he used to call it. He doesn't stream anymore. I don't think he plays the game much anymore even. But anyway, we should be able to kill the Devonshire. We got Arsonist there on the New York. And unfortunately, we don't end up killing the Devonshire. The Devonshire. But at this point, there's nothing on this flank. There's just a Farragut. So I choose to go mid now because there's nothing here. So I can just chill out. On our way towards middle here, we got a Rahmat and a Kotovsky in sight. Here's the Rahmat, tier 6 Pan-Asian cruiser. I think it's based on the Dido, HMS Dido. And then we got the Kotovsky, which is free Citadel. So I go for a quick shot on the Kotovsky. Unfortunately, I shot off the screen. But it's okay, it happens. We re-aim our shot and we shoot again. Right? And we get a Citadel again. Now Kotovsky has almost no armor, so that's pretty nice. But Rahmat here also has no armor and no hydro, so I decide to torp. Now we do have single launch torpedoes available on the Perth. It doesn't have the improved AP angles, as you can see that Leander gets, so we get 7 bounces. But we do get torpedoes, and he has no hydros. He has no idea, guys. He has no idea what is about to hit him, and he just dies to torpedoes. The last target we're gonna be able to shoot this game is this Mutsu, because everything else is gonna be out of range, unfortunately, because I go too much towards the middle. I should have actually played kited towards the Mutsu and moved towards the Kodovsky and the tier 6 destroyer Farragut there, because in that case I could have actually gotten scratched some more damage. But unfortunately, it's okay. We're up to 117k damage already, so we don't need like huge damage. But all the damage, we'll try to take all the damage we can get. We got high caliber there, so that's not too bad. That's kind of it, really. We got 2 achievements. Not a big game, but it's okay for a tier 6 cruiser. We did get tier 6 matchmaking, to be fair. And that's our 120k damage. So, I ended up doing 120,620 damage, 195 shell hits, 2 torp hits, 4 incapacitations, 2 kills, 5 fires, 2 citadels, arsonist, and high caliber. Team score, we got top of our team at 1.6k base XP. Well, it was pretty easy because we were mid-tier, almost top tier. There's only, I believe, actually no tier 7, so we were top tier. Pretty easy match overall. Detailed report, 56k on the NY, New York. 23k on the Rahmat. Devonshire, 20k. It's Devonshire, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brits. Kodovsky, 7k on the Mutsu, and 3k on the Farragut. We got 17k torp damage, 14k AP damage, and we got 66k plus 21k from HE. Here, we've got our damage received, and credits and XP screen right here. For my commander build, once again, we've got Last Stand, Grease the Gears, Eye in the Sky, Superintendent, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, IFHE, and Adrenaline Rush. I'm pretty sure I should remove IFHE here and probably take, well, that's the question, right? There's not much else to take. Maybe Demo Expert. I wouldn't recommend Heavy HE. You do have good concealment stock, but that's not something you should be griefing. For equipment, Steering Gears Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Hydro Search Mod 1, and Spotting Aircraft Mod 1. That is pretty much the Perth, guys. And of course, just to remind you, it is available in the Armory for the featured section, Battle of the Java Sea. Do I recommend you get this bundle? Not really, guys. I think it's very expensive, even though it's 30% off, and you can get another 15% off. The cash discount isn't from here, by the way. It's from the actual shop, so real money. I don't recommend it, guys. I think it's very expensive. Are you actually able to get the Perth as a normal ship in the game? Is the question I'm wondering. You can. Perth's only 5,000 doubloons, guys. And I believe there's a coupon for 25%. So, it's way cheaper if you just get Perth. But, yeah. I wouldn't really recommend a lot of people to get it. I think it's all right. It's pretty good. But there is a free alternative version available, the Hobart. Not to say Hobart is just flat out better, because it isn't, right? You have slightly less gun range. But, because, well, with spotter plane on. But, you do get the sub-surveillance, and you get the Commonwealth ASW drops. So, it is actually more useful, I would say, overall than the Perth. It also is a bit more comfortable to play than the Perth. So if you want to see actually a video on the Hobart one day, guys, I can totally cover it in a future video. I have not covered it. I've covered Uganda before and Auckland and Encounter. I actually haven't, funnily enough, I haven't covered Cerberus and Hobart. So if you guys want to see those, totally let me know. Well, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Perth. Yeah. I'll see you in the next video. Big fan.